The day my wife asked me to raise her affair baby was the day her world fell apart. It began with a text. Simple but unsettling. "We need to talk. Can you come home early, Ethan?" I was deep in quarterly reports at the firm, already drowning in numbers. My wife Lila was never cryptic. She was blunt, always to the point. That message wasn't her usual tone. Still, I wrapped up and drove home. Her car was already in the driveway. Inside, Lila was pacing the living room, clutching a manila envelope like it contained state secrets. The air was thick. She didn't even greet me. "Sit down," she said, gesturing to the couch like I was some employee in her office. I obeyed, confused. She handed me the envelope without a word. Inside there was an ultrasound photo. My heart stuttered. I looked at her, searching for an answer I wasn't ready to hear. Her voice was cold, flat. "I'm pregnant," she said without blinking. "But it's not yours." The words hit like a sledgehammer. She didn't flinch, standing there with her arms crossed, chin raised. "It's Adrian's," she continued. "My boss." I couldn't even process it. But her next words sent me spiraling into rage. "I still want you to raise this child with me," she said, as if she were offering me a charity case. "You've always wanted to be a father. You'd make a wonderful dad. Adrian, he's not the parenting type. But you are." Her words were so casual, so heartless. I just sat there, too stunned to react. She mistook my silence for submission. For days I said nothing, playing the part of the devastated, frozen husband, which truthfully wasn't that far from the truth. But beneath my shock, something else began to stir. Something cold, precise, and calculating. Lila, meanwhile, grew bolder, believing I'd accepted my role. She proudly told her friends about the pregnancy, spinning a tale that painted herself as brave and honest, and me as the loving, supportive husband stepping up after a mistake. Her mother even called me to say how lucky I was to have such a strong woman by my side. They didn't know the full story, but soon they would. Behind the scenes, I wasn't just sitting in quiet agony. I was working. I hired a top divorce attorney. I contacted a private investigator. And most importantly, I reached out to Adrian's wife, Caroline. Caroline was sharp, ruthless. A corporate lawyer with a spine of steel. She hated betrayal more than anything. I gave her everything. Photos, credit card statements, hotel reservations, screenshots of messages, and even surveillance footage. She said only 3 words. "He's finished." Officially. I admired her resolve. That night I came home, kissed Lila on the cheek, and offered to cook dinner. She smiled, pleased with herself, saying softly, "This is why you're the better choice. Adrian could never handle this." Inside, I was counting down the minutes until everything crashed down. The next morning, Lila left early for her so-called prenatal yoga class. I knew better. She always met Adrian afterward. As soon as she was gone, I moved fast. I compiled every shred of evidence the investigator had gathered. Photos, texts, audio recordings, even CCTV clips from hotel lobbies. Then I sent it all anonymously. Recipients: 1. Adrian's company board. 2. Human resources at Lila's office. 3. Caroline, though she already had her own copy. The subject line was simple: "The integrity of your leadership." By lunchtime, my phone was buzzing with updates. Lila was pulled into an emergency HR meeting. Adrian was called by legal and compliance teams. Caroline sent me a single emoji. When Lila returned home that evening, she was a ghost. Pale, trembling. They suspended me," she stammered. "Adrian too. There's an investigation. Someone leaked everything." She looked at me, her eyes pleading. "Ethan, was it you?" I tilted my head slightly. "What evidence?" I replied, calm as ever. She crumbled. "You're leaving me, aren't you?" I simply said, "Pack your essentials. The rest can go to Adrian's place. You two need to get used to living together." That night, I slept in the guest room. He sobbed all night. I didn't waver. Because this wasn't over yet. The next day I met my lawyer. We finalized the divorce filings. airtight and brutal, designed to protect every cent of my assets. But I wasn't done. I'd secretly collected DNA evidence, a discarded cup from her prenatal class, a strand of her hair. I submitted it to a lab. The results: 0% chance I was the father. That evening, as Lila numbly watched TV, I returned home with another manila envelope. She looked up terrified. "What's that?" she asked weakly. "Your future," I said, dropping it on the table. She flipped through the divorce papers, panic rising with every clause stripping her of alimony and assets. Then she reached the DNA report. Her face collapsed. "You tested it," she gasped. I remained silent. "But, Ethan, you always wanted children." He nodded. "Yes, my own children. Not my wife's affair baby." She shattered, sobbing, begging, trembling. But I didn't comfort her. I simply delivered the final blow. "If you need help, try Adrian," assuming he still has a job. The next morning I was gone. She woke to an empty house, her closet half empty, joint accounts frozen, credit cards declined, and a note on the kitchen table. "My dignity remains. Yours never existed. Do not contact me again." That was just the beginning. Her financial world crumbled overnight. No more lavish shopping, no fancy nursery sets, no luxury spa sessions. Then came the public humiliation. Adrian was fired after they found more affairs. His marriage over. Caroline divorced him ruthlessly, taking the house, custody of their kids, and most of his assets. At a charity gala Lila insisted on attending, desperate to save face. Another woman walked up and dumped a glass of red wine on her, yelling loudly enough for everyone to hear. "Next time, stay away from married men." She fled the event, her reputation in ashes. Meanwhile, I thrived. I moved cities, started a new job, began volunteering at a literacy program. Something I'd always wanted but had put off for her. Adrian. Last I heard, he was hiding in some remote South American town, broke and humiliated. Lila was barely surviving in a tiny apartment, posting old photos online from her happier days, begging for sympathy. I never responded, but I saw everything. One night I got a call from an unknown number. It was her. "Ethan, I just needed to hear your voice. I have nothing left." I hung up without a word. Months later she sent a final email. No subject, no apology, just one line. "You got your revenge." I hope it was enough. I smiled, deleted her message, blocked every contact, and erased her from my life completely. Because real closure isn't found in their apologies. It's found in your silence. When they finally realize they've been left to drown in their own ruin, while you walk away free.